Hello and welcome to the Triple Threat Podcast. This is a podcast where three brothers are going to talk about whatever kind of strikes our fancy this week. My name is Matt Vaughn. I'm here in the middle of Canada. And on the West Coast, we have...
You have Will Vaughn coming to you from Vancouver, BC. Hopefully sounding better this week. I haven't taken my alpha brain, but I feel good. I feel alive, which is good for any of us, really.
Being alive or feeling alive?
Well, both.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're alive, you might as well feel it. Otherwise, what's the point? But no, I feel great. And gosh, I'm going to toss it over to the East Coast of Canada with
Alex Vaughn, little East Coast, West Coast rivalry here. So I'm over in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Where it is currently tomorrow, and in Vancouver it is right now. It's yesterday. So
it's yesterday, yes. And Matthew, it's today.
Yeah. That's
so
how's
today, Matthew? Good.
How's today? It is. It's good. Yes. Saskatchewan has melted a little bit. That means the
whole city's melted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Saskatchewan's
it's like a Salvador Dali painting.
Yes.
Yeah. Holy cow.
But you know what? Actually, something I really enjoy about Saskatchewan that I will miss when I leave is that there are wild rabbits in the city.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I noticed about the prairies in Winnipeg. There were just rabbits just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah. So it's weird. I found some in my backyard, and I found some while I was out walking, and it's odd. You grow up, you're used to seeing rabbits in people's houses being super boring, and then you see them out in the wild.
The worst pet.
They suck. They just sit in a cage. It's like, you want to see
pick them up. They hate being picked up.
That's true.
This is a podcast on rabbits and how much we are not a fan of them.
Rabbit Thread Podcast.
The Rabbit Thread Podcast. If I see a rabbit, oh man, it's going to make me so mad. But have you ever tried to catch one, Matt? I've tried to catch one before.
That's
got to be like the peak of athletic training. I know it's like some boxers chase a chicken around or something, but if you want to catch a rabbit, you got to be...
You have to be very, very quick, and they can turn very quickly as well. But yeah, they're bounding and so quick.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the rabbit section of the podcast.
Yes.
Okay, so check that off the list. Talked about rabbits. Next up, snakes. What do you think?
I like snakes, hate spiders. So that's
spiders.
My opinion on those.
Okay, perfect. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I guess we should go right into our spider part of the podcast then. So Alex hates them.
Alex hates them.
Tarantulas, I think, are interesting, but spiders are just essentially pretty gross.
When I was a kid, I was fascinated by spiders, and for some reason, something happened as I grew up, and now they freak me out. I don't know why.
I told Mom I was afraid of spiders, and she couldn't understand why, because there was no...
there's no poison to spiders in Nova Scotia.
There's just no reason for it, I guess. She's like, nothing happened to you. I was like, I don't know. I don't think something has to happen for something gross to freak me out. So
it's same with the dark. Like, you don't need to have anything happen, like anyone scare you in the dark to be afraid of the dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the fear of the unknown.
I think it's the way they scuttle about. That's what I'll say. They just always look like they have somewhere to be, and that
they're always
unsettling.
Late.
I don't like
perpetually late.
They just sprint all the time. Oh, that's terrible.
They always sleep past their alarm. They get up. Oh, what time is it? Oh no, I gotta get over here now.
There's also the how they have children is very unsettling too, where you just will turn over like a part of a barbecue and there will be like 100 tiny eggs or tiny spiders. That's really weird and gross.
You know what? Actually, I can pinpoint when I became afraid of spiders. It was in our house. And there was a spider on the steps, and it had a very lumpy-looking thorax. Is it thorax? Their buttock, the spider's rear end. She had a bumpy rear end, and I went to the bathroom to grab some toilet tissue to smoosh it and flush it away into the abyss. And when I smooshed it, 100 baby spiders scampered out of that thing and up my arm, and I flipped, and I threw it in the toilet, and I flushed it into the abyss. She was carrying her babies on her back.
That was one of the worst things I've ever heard.
And
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Good.
Alex,
enjoy
are you okay,
this.
or are you in catatonic?
Yeah, I gotta go, guys.
It was, just think, like an innocuous little smoosh, and then her children of the corn rise up against me. It was very unsettling.
Ugh.
You're scared. It happened to me. I'm glad I conveyed that story with conviction. It was very scary. There's some freaky spiders out here out west. I mean, I get scared. Driving down to California, I was getting scared because it was getting hot down there. And up in Canada, really, thankfully, the only thing that can kill you really is bears, or a really angry cat. But we don't have any insects or snakes really that can bite you and kill you. We have a wasp can sting you and it hurts. But down south, they have, killer snakes, killer spiders. So I was, when you get into California, there's this like rest stop on the side of the road. And it's like this sign that says, look at all the snakes in California. I'm like, oh, these look like fun. Going up to hike Runyon Canyon is a big sign, caution rattlesnakes. Okay. This is a public hiking ground and caution rattlesnakes. Got it. Cool. There's very uncomfortable right now. I looked under every toilet seat for a black widow spider because they do that.
Yeah.
They can bite you right in the tuchus.
So I'll just try to one up that. And it's not even anything that happened to me, but I have a friend who lives currently in Australia. And so if anyone knows anything,
an island full of
things that want to kill you.
Rodents. Yes.
So he was in his office one day, and they have like kind of a lab because it's a medical tech company. So people working in the lab, and they came out and they're like, "Oh, if you go in there, there's a spider in there." And he's like, "Okay." And if you're thinking from Nova Scotia, there's a spider. It's just this tiny thing.
Oh man,
come on! In there. There's a wolf. It's called a wolf spider, and it's on the wall, and it's bigger than like your outstretched hand.
Oh my! Everybody, wiki the wolf spider right now. And if you think in your head, besides a camel spider, if you imagine in your head nightmare spider, if you're like, what's the worst looking creature that could ever exist? Yeah. Look at a wolf spider.
It was huge.
And that is it. Yeah.
And he stayed there to take a picture of it. I would run for my life. But
no, I'd definitely snap a picture of that.
I have the Wikipedia article open, and I do not want to keep looking at it.
Yeah, you probably should.
It's bloody terrifying, mate. You run into a wolf spider in the bathroom. You better get out of there. It'll bite you right in the leg. It'll fall off. You don't want that to happen to you.
Got Aussie Bob with us.
Yeah.
Speaking of spiders and segues.
Sorry, but can I just step on your segue real quick and say just about...
Nope.
Sorry, I know. I'm so sorry.
Got up on
No, I've already segued.
There are rules. Just to speak to California, there's a picture that I found online. I heard about it in another podcast. And it's a picture of the Hollywood sign. And someone took a picture of it. And in front of the Hollywood sign, just kind of hanging out, is a mountain lion. Like a big... regular.
That's a National Geographic photo, I think.
Is that what it is? Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a gorgeous photograph. It's a gorgeous photograph. Yeah.
So I want to encourage.
Well, yeah, but they're because the Hollywood sign is just in the mountains. It's just in the hills. It's just sitting.
There you go. Okay, well let me push this segue back into place. Hollywood sign. Spiders. Men. But before we talk about spiders, man, we have to talk about two teams playing in Hollywood. Oh, there you go.
See? That was nice. That was okay. So last week, it feels like we recorded the last show months ago. Yeah, that's how long ago it feels. I was
half of a month.
Yeah, I was 21 years old. Yeah. Last time on the Dribble Dad podcast, we made our picks for the Stanley Cup final. And we also made our series picks, and I don't remember what they were, but most of us were wrong. That's okay. So we made our Stanley Cup final pick. So far, the only one that holds up is Matt's pick of Anaheim and Montreal. Montreal currently down in their series that'll play tonight if you're listening to the show on Monday. Yes. Okay.
I agree.
This is exactly. This is what's going on. So they play tonight, and Alex chose Colorado and Boston. And don't get me started on Matt Cook. And then I chose San Jose and Montreal. And San Jose was just the perennial playoff bust.
Why would you pick San Jose?
Because I thought it was the the year. I thought it was the time when Tom McClellan would kind of sit them all down and be like, look, guys, the clock is ticking. This lineup won't be around forever. If we're going to win a cup, it's got to be now. And quite frankly, if they didn't do it this year, I don't think we're going to see it for another 50 years because
and they have a lot of youth. I mean, like Couture, Hurdle, and that other guy.
Yeah, other guy. Well, yeah.
I think the other guy is the most important one.
The other guy, look, a lot of teams were vying for the other guy. I think he's a free agent this year. Coming up on a big contract here.
Thinking about.
Other guy is going to be, I know there's a bunch of teams fishing around. They need a strong positional player like him.
Like the other guy.
In whatever position he plays.
In that, well, we all know what position he plays, obviously. So other guy, very strong where he is on the ice. And I think a lot of teams are going to be after him.
Absolutely.
So, this San Jose lineup won't hang around forever. So, looking at now, yesterday Pittsburgh and New York played. Oh, what a game! I can't believe that happened. Can you?
Yeah, that result was what I expected, but surprised me simultaneously at the same time.
Exactly, and yep. Don't get me started too on the Chicago Wild game. I mean, that was historic. So I mean that's all in the past. We can all forget about those. Let's talk about what's going on now. We'll update our. Oh, you okay there?
Yeah, I hit the table.
Hit the table. Okay, that's emphatic. This is like
settle down over there.
This is worse than Hockey Central at noon. Settle down over there, Mac.
Can we just talk real quick about how there's going to be 5 TSNs?
Yeah. Okay. So 5 TSNs.
There's going to be 5. They're going from 2 to 5.
They're going from 2 to 5. Alex will enjoy this the most because one of their big pitches is that they can play all these Premier League games.
Yes.
And what happened yesterday, Alex, with Liverpool? I'm a big Manchester City fan, by the way. They're my favorite team.
Like Oasis. Very good.
Like gun. Yeah. Liverpool. It wasn't even so much yesterday, so much as 2 weeks ago. And earlier in last week where they lost to Chelsea and then tied Crystal Palace. So they needed an unlikely loss by Man City and to win as well. So they finished second. If you told me at the beginning of the season that's what would happen, then I would be thrilled. And they're back in the Champions League because the top 4 from the English Premier League every year make it to the Champions League. So I'm excited about that. But
okay. Good for them. So 5 TSNs, and that's one of the things they mentioned was that they'll be able to play more footy.
So that was something that I saw and did no reading on. But, I mean, there already are more TSNs. Like, they have the Canadians, I think, and they have the Jets in an area if they still have that. Are they just moving those nationwide, or are they just creating all new channels? And is it going to be a Sportsnet thing, or is it going to be more specialized?
I think it's going to be more specialized because they didn't name it. They didn't name it according to region. What's weird to me is that they lost the NHL contract. Yes. So they got 5 networks, and they have some hockey, I think, this next season. They talk about how they have some Leaf games and Sens games, I think.
Though. That's all the regional stuff.
Okay, that's all regional stuff.
Us schmucks won't see that. It seems to me the expansion of the TSN networks is very much a response to losing the NHL. This is their way of saying, hey, in a decade, we're going to have one hell of a package here. So be ready for it. Because that was the whole thing, is that Sportsnet, one of the reasons Sportsnet got it is because they said, hey, we can show more games. We got Sportsnet 1 and
so TSN is just prepping for the next go-around.
I think so, at least. That's what it seems like to me. That's what it looks
There's
like.
There's going to be, a CFL channel
and a Tim Hortons Briar channel.
Yeah.
Scott Tournament of Hearts channel.
Oh,
they could fill a Saturday with college football, no problem, too.
Oh, easily, and people would watch it.
I would.
I would like to have seen more draft coverage too in Canada. More NFL draft coverage. That would have been nice.
I think you're going to get it.
I think we're going to
Schultz.
I think we're going to get way too much draft coverage, but that's okay. But before we talk about the NFL draft, revised playoff, revised NHL Stanley Cup final picks.
I guess only 2 of us need to make revisions.
Yeah. I guess I can. Gosh, It's so hard to call. Every series is so tight right now, and every game is so tight. And like the series just go back and forth sometimes. I don't know. Oy vey. It's a hell of a thing. But I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna completely revise my pick. I'm just gonna throw this out there and say Boston, LA. There, I said it.
Boston, LA. Interesting. And I'm gonna, be a bit of a risk taker, and I'm gonna keep my prediction exactly the same.
Okay, well,
Colorado. Whoever else I said is gonna be in the finals.
You said Colorado, Montreal, and
exactly, and I'm sticking with that.
Well, that's completely wrong.
I appreciate that's gutsy. I like that.
My brain can't process.
I'll change it. I'll say L.A.
If John Gibson, doesn't come through for Anaheim like he did on Saturday, then it looks like LA could move on. Matt, are you going to keep your pick the same?
You gotta.
I guess I have to.
You gotta.
If I had to revise
it, but why stick? Why change it if it's still there?
If it was going to get changed, I would say Pittsburgh, LA. But that's mostly that's almost entirely because I really don't want to see Chicago, Boston again.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Boston's such a good playoff team, though. They're just so hard to play against.
So is Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago is too, but Boston makes it a nightmare to play against them. They really do.
What's funny about that series, or interesting about that series, is if a bounce goes the other way, or Montreal closes out a game better. I mean, they could have been swept technically, and now they're up 3-2. Yeah. The chance to win. So it's just interesting how resilient they are. They'll just find ways to win.
Absolutely. Hey, you got to be good to be lucky.
There you go.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that.
Coach Will.
I just blew your minds. Yeah, for all the hockey I've coached. So, I don't know. It's playoff hockey. It's good to see. I would like to call a company out. They have to be able to afford this airtime on CBC because of how cheap their commercials are. You know exactly who I'm talking about? No. Flammin' Fitness. I'm going to call out Flammin' Fitness right now. And these embarrassingly shot in your basement commercials that somehow get airtime on CBC. It's like Frank D'Angelo. Yes. I would rather have Frank D'Angelo back. What was his was his Beaver Buzz? Was that his energy drink?
Cheetah Power Surge.
Cheetah Power Surge.
Yeah.
And he would get the AHLers to play hockey.
They had Ben Johnson on there, and he's like, I cheetah all the time. Because he tested positive for steroids and had a gold medal ripped from him at the Olympics.
And I think they actually show
joke of it.
They show him walking away with the briefcases full of money with the bills falling out of them.
So
that's a joke, but
I thought it was a sack with a $sign on it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's probably what it was. Alex, do you get Flammin' Fitness?
I have no idea what I was just gonna say. Okay. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, these are Western regional
games on CBC, but
these are Western. Regional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Okay.
Well, so just to set the stage for any listeners and Alex,
I'll be Googling them immediately after this podcast.
Don't do that. They are Flammin' Fitness. Their mascot or their representative is his name is Flammin' Man, a guy who's
I want to see this.
Maybe you should look it up. He's a superhero with the cheapest costume.
Well, he's got it's like my Superman costume. It's got the fake foam muscles on it.
Yes.
He's an advocate for fitness, and he doesn't have real muscles on his body. I mean, he might underneath it all, but
and so they have it's kind of like a comic book panel that is there's action taking place in it, and all the backgrounds look like cheesy PowerPoint slides, and sometimes they'll have a guy on a couch with Cheetos dust on his face, and Flammin' Man will just appear, and he'll be like, "You need to get fit," and he's like, I'm fat, and I have too much Cheeto dust," and it's horrible.
Every actor in it is FLAMAN. Wow, we just gave him a free plug on the show, by the way.
Is it really? I mean, yeah, it does seem like advertising, but we are unequivocally saying that their ads are horrible, and I don't want to. It makes me never want to step foot in that place.
Any press is good press, and they're getting impressed upon by us here at the Triple Thread Podcast. I don't know. I feel bad for bringing it up now. My soul, it feels lighter. And I'll tell you what else makes me feel lighter as far as fitness goes. You guys know where I'm going with this.
Diuretics.
I'm going to feel the bang. Our good friend on the Twitter, Brad, at Brad the YM, the Yosemite Montreal. Is that the right NATO phonetic for YM? No, it's not.
It's not at all.
Okay, good.
Shoot.
But everybody knows what I meant. On Twitter, gave us our first Triple Threat podcast suggestion. And we will be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man 2 later in the show. If you have not seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2, like Alex hasn't.
And I won't.
And he won't. So you're going to hear all about it, Alex. But if you have not seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2, you may skip further on in the show. He also asked for a DDP yoga review, which I will present now.
It's Yankee Mike, by the way. Why
Yankee Mike.
Yankee Mike.
Okay. Thanks for looking that up, Wikipedia.
You got.
I actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was like I was bored. I was going through it in my head, and I got stuck on P, I think. I got stuck on P for the longest time.
Did you
What's
figure out what
P,
it was?
Matthew?
Oh, okay.
It's Pluto? No. See, this is why I got stuck on it.
It's Papa.
Papa.
Well, can you do Q then? I'm wondering if you got that.
Quebec.
No, well done.
Speaking of Papas, happy Mother's Day yesterday to our fair lady, our mother.
Who is not a Papa.
Who is not a Papa, but happy birthday tomorrow to Papa.
Yes.
There you go.
You are keeping up with the dates very well.
I know.
Happy birthday.
It's Monday. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, DDP Yoga. Hit it up.
DDP Yoga, my review. DDP Yoga is a fitness program. Maybe I shouldn't read. Oh,
DDP
a couple. Look, for me, fitness. I'm not a naturally born athlete. I know this by now. I tried soccer and baseball and rowing, and I stunk at all of them. So I just can't. What athletes find to push their bodies harder and to try their best and dive in head first and feet first, I don't have that. Okay, in soccer, I would dip my toe in the water. In baseball, I'd be afraid of the pitch. In rowing, if it got too hard, I'd give up.
Where's
I'm
the
not an
water in
athlete.
Soccer?
Water. Oh, like
It's like if you're going to attack the ball, you don't tackle properly. Just stick your toe in, and yeah.
Speaking of pot, that would drive Dad
in the
nuts.
water. That was Dad's.
He hated that. But Alex, you were
slept.
Yeah, Alex is. I would classify Alex as an athlete. But
Yes,
absolutely.
And no
Absolutely
one
an
else
athlete.
would.
Like no one else. Yeah,
I
no one
think
else
it's
would. Alex, but I would.
It's comparatively to us.
No, so I'm not an athlete by a long shot, but since moving out to Vancouver, obviously, being involved in acting, I wanted to at least look like some of the parts I wanted to go out for. So I started training and weightlifting, and I made some significant changes to myself. I don't mind saying so, and I've quite enjoyed the new fit lifestyle. A couple of months ago, I injured myself doing an overhead squat at the gym with very little weight. I pinched a nerve in my neck. It killed basically the ulnar nerves on my right arm. Went from my neck all the way through my shoulder, down my bicep, through my forearm to my thumb and index and middle fingers. So Matt, you're the one who saw it. It was.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was embarrassing. I could not lift my arm or really do anything with it, to the point where I had to take time off work. I had to spend more money going to the chiropractor, more than I had before. Chiropractor for a while. Weightlifting was great for me, but it caused problems in both shoulders. My knees were okay. They hadn't been before. You guys know I had knee problems.
Right.
It ached my lower back, and this arm injury was kind of the last straw for me. I was thinking, well, if I can't work and I'm losing money on this, then do I have to leave Vancouver and go home? I mean, that was the thought going through my head. I was seeing the chiro. I was doing. He's got this machine that he lent me. It sends an electric pulse through your arm. that like makes the muscles tense up. Sees, so to try to like kind of shock them back to life. Really,
I have that for abs.
Yeah, well, that's why you're the athlete, Alex.
Yeah.
So I was listening to podcasts by Steve Austin and Chris Jericho, and even the Jay and Dan pod DDP on it, who has been doing yoga for years.
Right.
DDP hurt himself wrestling, and he turned to yoga, and he basically revised his career and became a 3-time world champion in WCW. And just seeing the videos of the guy, he's always been a very positive dude. But something about it was the timing. I was thinking maybe I should change the way I work out. So what I did was I ordered the DDP yoga off his website, ddpyoga.com. I got it in about 2 weeks. It was right after my trip to LA. I got it, and I bought a yoga mat, and I started doing the program. Before I did it, I was thinking, well, how is this going to give me a workout similar to what I had before? I'm probably going to lose a ton of muscle mass. I'm probably going to gain weight in the process because I don't see how it's a suitable cardio exercise. A couple weeks into the thing, I'm surprised how much I sweat doing the DDP yoga workouts. They're range from about like a half hour to an hour or so. I get a wicked sweat on. I get a wicked stretch on. The strength building has my muscles have not decreased at all. I'm able to maintain the mass that I have. I've kind of cleaned up my diet a whole lot. When they send you the program, I have the Max Pack, which is 15 exercises, and I've only done half of them. There's a bunch that are like even more extreme than the ones I've done. And it comes with a book with a nutritional guide and something to help like track your progress the whole time. So for less than the price, for just about, it was less than $100 to have it sent to me from the US, which was a great price. I pay about $80 now for a chiro session, and that's like once every 2 weeks. I paid $55 a month for my YMCA membership, so I canceled the membership, and I don't really need to see the chiro anymore. But I don't need to see the chiro anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to live that way. So I can just do the DDP yoga in my apartment, get a wicked sweat on, get a wicked workout on, and all the aches and pains from working out are gone. The kind of lactic acid buildup in my legs, after a heavy leg day is gone. It helped improve myself and my mood.
Gosh,
quite a bit.
Well, if anybody needs any other reasons, gosh, I don't know why you would.
I mean, I could list tons more. I mean, it's just great. It's great to work out with DDP. He's very affirming. He's a very positive dude. We all know this, and he's helped a lot of people along the way. Look up Arthur Boorman on YouTube. It's DDP's Golden Goose, but Arthur, just for the uninitiated, was a retired paratrooper. He's about 5'7", 297 pounds.
Kind of living as a disabled person too, right?
Well, he had the 2 canes and a back brace and knee braces. Mm-hmm. He could hardly walk and live. And he saw the DDP yoga, and he started doing that, thinking, "How is this going to help me?" And DDP thought, "How am I going to help this guy? He's a mess." But what Arthur did really, and the theme of DDP yoga, is to stick with it. You'll start doing these workouts, and there'll be poses. You'll be like, "How am I supposed to get there?" Don't worry about it. You'll get there in time. And I feel myself getting there in time. So yeah, check out Arthur Boorman on YouTube if you want to see a nice touching video. But as DDP Yoga does not sponsor this podcast, nor does anybody, I would still recommend it. It's designed for people of any age and any fitness level. So it comes highly recommended to me. It's a great, if for no reason other than the monetary savings.
Boom. There it is.
And the move improvements. So anyway, that's my long-winded review of DDP Yoga. Brad the YM on Twitter. Check it out, buddy.
How many stars?
I give it 5. 5 bangs out of 5. I
should say how many diamonds. Yeah, that would have made more sense.
Diamonds.
That's okay.
Hey, can't go back in time and change that, can we? So
yeah, we have no editing software on this.
I mean, I've done very basic yoga, so I haven't done DDP yoga, but it is a great workout. So I can only assume with such a glowing review that DDP yoga is kind of, honestly, really worth your time and money.
Yeah, I had my doubts. Before I did it, but I just thought I'd what do I have to lose? It costs a little bit more than a Cairo visit. Let's give this thing a try. And it's really like Frankenstein yoga, because he combines physiotherapy recovery with plyometrics and it's a lot of great core work, lower body work, upper body work. I mean, yeah, no, it's good stuff.
And if you can be one of the main antagonists from the movie Ready to Rumble and kind of bounce back from that, I mean, that's just a good story in itself.
If you do the job to Oliver Platt in Ready to Rumble,
yes,
and can recover like he has, then that's all anyone needs to hear.
He didn't. Who did David Arquette beat in real life?
It was. I think DDP had the title, but I think David Arquette pinned somebody else. I want to say.
Maybe like Jeff Jarrett or something. Anyway, so may have done the job to David Arquette in real life, or was at least part of the storyline. So
he was the Undertaker's wife's stalker as well.
Yes,
another very bad storyline. So
yeah,
there you go.
And they'll tell you about it.
He also drove Honky Tonk Man to the ring at WrestleMania 6 in his pink Cadillac.
That's right. He's if you can catch a podcast with DDP, I mean, he's a very interesting cat. All told, I mean, he started out in the nightclub business. The boys would come to his nightclub, he'd take care of them, and then he started putting himself on tape. All these different wacky characters for local wrestling promotions, and he started out as a manager, a commentator, and then at 35 he trained to be a wrestler, and won the world title at 42. Which is really old. He says, he'll tell you most people are retiring at that age.
That sounds. I mean, you make it sound like that could be an interesting movie. His life is interesting that way.
It would be if he wasn't working on a movie right now called The Resurrection of Jake Roberts. So let's not even mention the fact that Jake Roberts and Scott Hall, both guys are being took care of by DDP because back in the day they helped him start out, right. And both now inductees in the WWE Hall of Fame. Not a small thing, considering how far they've fallen and how far they have since rose again to prominence. It's been really remarkable.
There you go.
So, there you go. So Dallas Page, you're my homie. I feel like he's my homie. Speaking of stretching, flexibility, web slinging, who better to do these things than a Mr. Parker, Mr. Peter Parker, whose dad, Richard Parker. I couldn't help but think of Life of Pi, by the way, when I watched Richard Parker. Wow. Okay. No, I'll never do that accent again. I apologize.
Unfortunately, can't go back in time and edit that out. So.
Oh no!
You guys actually the audio cut out a little bit for that, so it sounds just a little less racist. It's very nice.
No, what you have to say is, "Don't worry, guys. I edited that out."
Oh.
You got to make it look like it's on purpose.
Okay, can we go back and edit Matt saying he edited it?
No, we can't.
Okay.
It's out. You guys, this won't be on the podcast. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't press the record button. So
always press record.
Always press record. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was released last week. Matt, what was your initial reaction after watching Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Spoiler alert one more time, just in case.
Spoiler alert. This is going to be spoiled to the ends of the earth.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say that for all its problems,
it's got them.
It's got problems. I think that these movies nail characters better than I think almost any superhero before that. Like I've never cared more for a romantic relationship in a superhero movie than I have for Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. Go ahead.
Well, it's based on the power of the actors, the chemistry of the actors, charts off the roof,
and very well directed. Like the style is so natural that it's just I think it's a little bit hard to make teenage couples be something appealing. I think that in life we generally see weird high school couples at bus stops and things like that, and it's not something that you would want to spend any amount of time with. But I feel like this movie did such an excellent job with it, and that's why the ending packs such a wallop in a way that I didn't expect at all, in terms of how it affected me in an emotional way.
What the heck happened at the end? We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But
now I'm
Mark
interested.
Mark Webb directed the first Amazing Spider-Man, and he also directed 500 Days of Summer, so he knows how to let couples breathe on the screen. I think that's probably the biggest reason they chose him to direct these films. And yes, the power of Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Now, are they a couple in real life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Emma's off the market. Okay, darn.
They have a dog together.
They have a dog together. What's the dog's name, Matt? You have the opportunity for some. Yeah, no, that's.
I don't know. I just
kind of put him on the spot, though.
Gosh, yeah.
I would have said Peter. No, I would have said Peter Barker.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, see, I won that one. No, the acting I thought was quite good. I quite liked Dane DeHaan. Dane DeHaan played Harry Osborn. Dane DeHaan also star of the Metallica movie, the Untalking protagonist. Untalking? Wow. Okay, that's my university education there for you, folks. Not even 1 year.
Maybe you should be untalking.
Yeah. Oh.
Or done talking. I don't know. Either one of those. Take your pick.
It's a podcast. It's all I can do is talk. You're not really giving me a lot of options here. But yes, the performances I thought were quite good.
Very strong.
And the relationship, that was one of my good points, was that the relationship in the film was very strong. My biggest problem with the movie is Richard Parker and his folks. I thought the movie opens on this ridiculous plane crash.
Yes.
Where his folks are being attacked, where they he's trying to upload these files, and the laptop keeps getting closed, and then when you open it, it just resumes from the same spot, and it was just such a mess to start this movie. It was so off-putting. I can't stand the stuff with his dad. I think it's awful. I'm just gonna say, I just think his dad sucks. That was my thought leaving the film. It's like, no, it was the actor. Not to come down on anybody. He's a fine actor, I'm sure, but he just did not do it for me at all. And he's just so like, wait, Peter, I have to tell you something. I've missed being with my son. Like, he's just so dull.
So is his dad alive in this?
That's a flashback to his death.
Oh, okay.
He recorded a video. That Peter Parker sees when he has first thrown a scientific calculator at the wall out of frustration, found a ton of subway tokens, used one which resurrected this subway from underneath the tracks. How he figured to do that is beyond me.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure, that sounds great.
Well, you're not going to have any idea what we're saying the whole time, Alex. You didn't see the movie.
Yeah, every minute or so, Alex, you could just chime in and say, like, I'm not sure you guys are talking about. I'm not familiar with that scene.
I will chime in at my own pace, thank you.
Thank you.
But the
subway thing was ridiculous. Yeah, and let's go back to the beginning.
The beginning with it just seemed like it reminded me too much of Goldfinger, the end of Goldfinger, where Goldfinger
gets sucked out of a plane.
And it wasn't in a nice kind of way that was honoring it. Like, for instance, Skyfall is a movie that did a very good job of honoring Goldfinger in a way. This seemed almost like they watched Goldfinger and they're like, I wonder if this would work for a movie today with like two parent figures that they're not action heroes. They're very much depicted as I don't know. They're nothing special. Like, it's not even. They've just been kind of framed by Oscorp, I think. I was really unclear. They look and act like they could be your friend's parents or something. Yeah, that's the idea, right? They're supposed to be very relatable. Yeah, and they do an okay job of doing that, but I couldn't stand it. The thing with his dad, this is my big problem with this series. It wasn't so much a problem in the first one. I know that turned a lot of people off in Amazing Spider-Man 1. I thought it was fine, but in this one, I just too much for me.
Another problem I had was the structure of the story. This movie is probably going to get a director's cut that will hopefully be very good. But I was distracted by the lack of a 3-act structure in this movie. It seemed to be, to me, all over the place. I could not really – it was a mess. That's the best way I can describe it. It is a mess. I mean, so much stuff cut out. Like you have – and this will go into my other point of the enemies. Not only is there too many, but they didn't do anything. You do not need Paul Giamatti as the Rhino in this film because he's just a bookend. He's tops and tails. That's all he is. But he doesn't do anything. He fights Peter at the end. By the way, it was a trailer shot too. That was the very last shot in the movie, which I didn't like.
Right.
But also Electro didn't really do anything. What was Electro's deal? Exactly.
Reminds me of Vinnie Jones as the Juggernaut in
terrible.
the third X-Men. Like just such a throwaway character, waste of everyone's time.
Even Vinnie Jones got a funny line in there. It was Paul Giamatti being Russian for some. It didn't need to be Paul Giamatti, first of all. Doing his best Russian, and then the Rhino suit that he put on at the end, I thought was kind of cool. I would like to have seen more done with it instead of instead of what they did with it. I think anything besides what they did with it would have been better. The only enemy I liked in the whole movie was Harry Osborn. Dane DeHaan. Even you got an Oscar winner like Oscar winner. He won an Oscar,
Jamie
right?
Foxx for Ray. Yeah, absolutely.
And Sally Field.
Jamie Foxx did. Sally Field did. We like her. We really like her. But there's also
Is
Cooper
she in that movie?
Yes, she is.
She does a very good job, I think. I think Sally. Just to go back to positive things, I think Sally Field.
Sally Field's good. Sally Field
a very
reminds
good human aspect to it.
She's got a very motherly quality. Probably because when we were growing up, we'd watch Mrs. Doubtfire, where she was the mother in that film.
Right.
Great film. Cooper, what's his name? I can't find it here for some reason. Chris Cooper? Yeah,
yes, Chris Cooper. Was in the movie in shadows for no amount of time, and then dies.
Chris Cooper, like the guy from Adaptation?
Yes.
Also Oscar winner.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, so you have an Oscar winner, Chris Cooper.
Yep.
Wasted.
Yes.
Wasted Chris Cooper. He's got like a little scene with Dane DeHaan, and I'm sure there's more of this in the director's cut. I mean, this is already a 2.5-hour movie. It's already too much. And they probably wanted to make it like a 3-hour epic, which I would have been fine with that if they just kind of let it breathe and pace it out a little better. And
do you think there is a very solid movie in there that is only Harry Osborn and Peter Parker? Like no Electro, no Rhino. Like you could have. There's probably a really solid 2-hour movie in there with just those two guys.
Well, my problem too is that when Peter finds out that Norman Osborn has died, he goes to Harry's house and Harry sees him. He's like, "Oh, hey, man, it's been 10 years." Is that what he said?
It's close to it. So I guess they were each 9.
Yeah, but it's been 10 years since they've seen each other, and then later in the movie, Peter says that Harry's his best friend. I mean, I know Peter's a bit of a loner, but God, that's really depressing if you haven't seen your best friend for 9 years, 10 years.
It reminds me of somebody said about the first movie when they're like, yeah, Peter Parker's such a nerd. He skateboards. He's good looking. He has a camera. Yeah, what a loser that guy is. That very attractive, cool man is such a nerd.
Well, yeah, he's a movie nerd, right?
Yeah.
My roommate brought up an interesting fact in the first movie when he's like he throws the football at the upright at the field goal, and he dents it. How does no jock look at him and say, "Oh, hey man, you want to be in our team?" Because you're a freak of
wide
nature.
Receivers?
Well, yeah, it's like put a little touch on that.
Made out of iron.
That would have made more sense if it just exploded. That's a good point.
I guess. I mean, they're
That's
hard.
my biggest complaint.
That's your number one complaint. And the only other thing I did kind of like about this movie is that we did tease the Sinister Six, which will be in Amazing Spider-Man 3. Which now that I think about it, do we want a movie with more bad guys? This one had 3, and 3 was too many. and then we're going to have a movie for Amazing Spider-Man 3, which with 6. I mean,
There's even a weirder part of that is that it's not even that it's necessarily going to be a Spider-Man 3. They're making an independent of Spider-Man Sinister Six movie and Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Weird.
Wait, what's the Sinister Six?
It's
Sinister
like
Six.
His full of bad guys. So it's your Rhino, Green Goblin, Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I think Electro's in there, but I'm pretty sure he died in the movie we just watched.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened to him, actually. He got he blew up. Yeah, he exploded because and Gwen Stacy dies. I should mention that part too.
Yeah,
Vulture is
Vulture's in it. I don't know I think Craven's in it too. But Gwen Stacy dies. I thought that scene was actually decently well done too. Yeah. When Gwen
what happened to her?
On. She falls down. Well, Harry throws her down a clock tower, and Peter actually tries. Oh, actually, this was one part I thought was a little much.
I knew you were going to bring
which was very slow motion. Peter slings a web any size, and it comes down, and this little web tendrils reach out like a hand. I know that was done to be like very dramatic and very artistic. It just ended up looking very stupid, which you don't need in that scene. Just anyway.
And then so he kind of catches her, but she hits the ground and bounces essentially. And in a way that was surprisingly
brutal too.
Violent. Yeah.
Yeah, she snaps right on the ground, breaks her spine.
And
she
then
could do some DDP yoga.
And then right after that scene is a really kind of beautiful sequence of Peter Parker at her grave as the seasons go by.
Yeah,
which very, very well done. I thought you see the skyline of Manhattan behind him, and it's fall, it's winter, it's spring, it's summer, and you get a sense in not very long amount of time that there's an actual a certain amount of heartache that's pretty it's there.
No, again, it's good. All that stuff's good, except for all the stuff you go to see a Spider-Man movie for. Right. I mean, there's only so much you can do with that web slinging now. I mean, they did some cool shots with kind of on his undercarriage, like looking up, like that was kind of cool. But we're kind of getting tired of him flipping around and shooting webs. And I'm a Spider-Man fan too. But actually, before the movie, this girl asked me, she's like, "Are you big Spider-Man diehard?" And I was like, "Well, listen, I only gave myself an 8 out of 10 for a Star Wars rating, and I am a Star Wars diehard, so I would not say I'm a Spider-Man diehard, but I do quite enjoy the movies." And then afterwards, I did not enjoy the movie.
That's too bad. And,
well, I mean, I didn't like the first 3, so I haven't seen the next 2, and now there's another one coming, so,
Alex, is your dislike for the first 3 movies entirely based on the Sam Raimi close-ups of people screaming?
Partially, or like people screaming right into the camera.
I couldn't ever since you pointed that out to me. I cannot help but see that in every movie.
Or I don't know, just wasn't a fan. Like I was like, these are all right, and I saw the second one, and then went back and watched the first one. I was like, oh, I just don't like these. I think I don't like anything about these movies.
The big problem with the first 3 is that the chemistry between Maguire and Dunst is terrible.
Which is the
saving grace for these movies, and I like these movies less.
See,
so there
now
you go.
I'm definitely not going to see it.
So definitely don't check out Amazing Spider-Man 2 in theaters now.
I disagree. I say if you saw the first one and if you like their relationship, I would say that it's worth it.
I would say that the buoyancy of the relationship cannot save the sinking ship, which is the mess of a plot of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
If you're a shipper, then you're going to like this movie. If you like,
some people call them sailors, Alex.
What'd you say?
Some people call them sailors.
Do they really?
No,
yes.
I'm talking about people who like relationships and ships as well. They call them
Will understands that he's making.
I said the sinking ship, though. I thought you were talking about like people who ride on ships or ship things out.
So either way, either go or don't go to see that movie.
Okay, all of us give it a rating out of 10. My rating will be based on your guys' stories.
Okay, out of 10?
Yeah.
I'll give it
still problematic.
I'll give it a 6.
I was going to give it a 6.5 or a 7. So.
Oh, is that the difference between don't go see it and go see it? Is half a point between 6 and 6.5?
I'm going to give it 7, but Will's talking about it like it's a 4, so I'm surprised by his rating.
Yeah, your rating is bizarre, Will.
It's still worth seeing.
Okay, well, you just said don't see it. It's worth seeing, but don't see it.
It's worth seeing, but don't see it.
All right, and I'll give it a 3.
Check it out, but don't. Alex gives it a 3. A 3 out of a 4? You're on the Roger Ebert star rating, Alex. You're 3 out of 4.
I'm not. No, I'm giving it.
That is strong. That is a strong rating. So Amazing Spider-Man 2 kicked off the summer movie season. What better way to spend the most beautiful days of the year?
Do that?
No, Captain America it doesn't. Yeah, April doesn't count. What better way to spend the most beautiful months of Canada than in the dark room with the air conditioning blasting? What better way to do it than that?
Did you know that a movie theater owner invented air conditioning?
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
To get people to come in the summertime. That's kind of hilarious, actually. But yeah, it was invented by a guy who owned a movie theater to get people inside.
I want to check Snopes for that one.
Yeah,
that works. That works, though. I mean, I know lots of people where, it's a hot day. Go see a movie instead.
To be fair, I think I saw that on Cracked.
Yeah, but Cracked, I believe everything they say.
Yeah.
Cracked.com. Great
Guys,
website.
Another website we are plugging. Another thing we're plugging, but is
that's
not
anything that's done in video. Don't go watch it. It's terrible.
No, I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, just like Spider-Man 2, watch it, but don't watch it.
Yes.
So we've the Brothers 3 have convened, and we've made our picks. And to gloss over the entire summer movie season would be another show for another time. But we'll pare it down to 3 movies each. We have one that will be like the surefire. You're going to see it. And you're going to love it. Like your pick for like the movie of the summer for you or me. Wait, am I using the right participle? Am I using the right word? That's my university education for you. So one that we think or lack thereof. One we think we'll love. One we think we won't. And then a sleeper. And then I have an honorable mention, but it's more personal than anything. Okay. It's personal. So let's go over the stinkers first.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start with the stinkers. For me, I hope it won't be, but Transformers 4. I know we got rid of Shia and Megan Fox. Well, we got rid of Megan Fox after the second movie, but ever since the first movie came out, and the first movie wasn't a good film by any means, but I quite enjoyed it. And the other two, I did not so much. We got Marky Mark in this one, which I loved. His line in the trailer was like, "Oh, I think I just found a Transformer."
I've only ever seen that line on Jimmy Fallon in the voice of Pee Wee Herman. So I've actually seen it. So it makes it way funny.
Oh my God.
Is it a giant robot or something? What is a giant robot?
Look, it's Marky Mark and Michael Bay. I think teaming up for the first time since Pain and Gain, a movie which I loved. So if you love Pain and Gain, go check out Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I think I don't know what they can do with Transformers to make it good.
Well,
save this franchise.
Let's say that although Shia LaBeouf isn't in it, and I'm not a big Shia LaBeouf fan, although I'm not a fan. I'm whatever on him. I don't think he was the problem with the movies.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
He kind of became the problem with the movies with his outside issues.
Yes, absolutely.
But Marky Mark I quite enjoy. So Transformers 4, I'm a little ishy on.
Can I just say that they should have called it Transformers? Like there's
Formers?
a numeric 4 in there?
No, they should not have done that.
And then for Transformers 5, just make the S on the end of Transformers a 5.
They call it Trans-5-mers. That would have been a good one.
Like the boy band 5, but instead of the F was the number 5, so the band name was actually Five Ive.
What was their song? What was their song?
Something about the dark, I think.
When the lights go out.
Let's go out. Oh my!
It's also the name of the next Fozzy single. Check out "The Lights Go Out" on iTunes. Fozzy, again, unpaid sponsor.
Man, Fozzy. I read Jericho's book, and it was like half about Fozzy.
Yeah, well, it's half his life, really.
Yes.
So Trans-5-mers will come out in a couple of summers. What's your pick for stinker, Alex?
I am gonna go with, and I'm talking. I don't know. I'll say Jupiter Ascending from the Wachowskis.
Wachowskis. I was thinking that one too. I think that one is. I don't know how they keep getting films greenlit.
Well,
I thought they ruined their own trilogy.
Part of the problem is just the budget. I mean, you're looking at like $150 million for this weird kind of operatic space thing, which all those sound good, and then the poster is just Mila Kunis in a plaid shirt. So I don't really feel like it's going to get any, even if the reviews are going to be, maybe in the speed racer sense, not terrible, but middling, but I think it's just going to be a bomb in terms of box
the plot looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
it's terrible.
She's a custodian, but she realizes that she owns Jupiter or something, and then
she sits there. I don't know. And Channing Tatum's got like bleached goatees and everything. It just looks atrocious to me.
Spock ears too.
Yes.
Spock ears. I call them Link ears, actually. So we clearly come from two different schools of thought on the matter.
Vulcan ears.
Well, that's Spock ears.
Thank you.
But I don't refer to them as one. I know what Spock is.
Sorry, Alex makes a good point that I'm being very specific. Right.
You out of your Vulcan mind. What's your pick for the stinker?
This one makes me sad. I think that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to be bad. I think we on the podcast all have a very pleasant nostalgic view of the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. I have them on Blu-ray. I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I was just watching 2 the other day. It was on TV. I was
awesome.
Like,
is 3 good?
This out.
I haven't watched 3.
Okay. All I remember is the guy walking through the city going, Yoshi!
Yeah, I remember the special effect to the bad guy falling off the cliff, which is how everybody died in the 90s movie. But the bad guy falling off a cliff, the special effect was terrible.
I mean, I think it was like 93 or 94, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 1 and 2 are very dear to my heart, but I don't see there being an audience for this movie. I don't know who would go see it.
It's going to be everybody from the 90s is going to go see it.
But I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I think that this is a movie that it veers too far off what they would want anyway. I think that there's already movies that they could return to. I don't think anyone's gonna see this movie.
Well, what happened is that Michael Bay wanted to make them adults that were aliens, and instead of that, he made them teenagers who were mutants, as is the title of the books. So they're
Ninja Turtle books.
It's based on a graphic novel. Yeah.
Oh.
Is it okay. Graphic novel, video game. Cartoon series.
That's me feeling cool. Or comic, not a graphic novel.
The 90s movies built off the momentum of popular cartoon, and I don't see that existing here. So anyway, that's my choice for.
But it's going to be all the 90s kids going to see it. It's going to be all 90s kids going to see. Remember Ninja Turtles? Let's go see it, man.
Yeah, and look how bad this one is.
Do you know anyone who wants to see that movie, though?
Yeah, me and my friends. We're all going to check it out.
Boo.
Yeah,
okay,
you're not a good gauge for this.
By the way, don't see Spider-Man 2. Actually, no, check it out. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Check it out. Still conflicted about that one.
Yeah.
So let's move from the stinkers to the clinkers. Clink in this case is the sound of money being deposited in a vault.
Is it? Okay. Was not sure.
It's not a rickety. It's not a rickety furnace like in A Christmas Story. It's a clinker.
Christmas Story 2, of course, with Daniel Stern.
Oh my god, that was a clinker. Surefire hit for me, and it opens May 23rd.
Yeah.
And this one. So if I didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 2...
We're talking about Blended, I assume, right?
Talking about Blended,
yes.
Yeah. If I didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 2 because of too many bad guys, this movie has about 8,000 characters. It's called X-Men Days of Future Past, but it does bring Bryan Singer back to the series. It brings back the fantastic cast of X-Men First Class, great film, and the amazing actors from the first trilogy. With the director who directed the first 2 good movies in that trilogy, X-Men 1 and 2. So I think that's going to be great. It has Peter Dinklage as Bolivar Trask, who invents the Sentinels. Like, we finally get the Sentinels in a movie, which you've been looking forward to for a long, long time. It just looks epic. You have Magneto tossing a stadium. What stadium is that? I can't tell, by the way. It looks like an old stadium, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they never named it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. It looks
good.
All right. Next time on the Triple Threat podcast, we'll see who was right.
I would be surprised if they both did and did not name it. The state neutral.
The neutral evil or the neutral good? I don't know which one that is.
Chaotic good.
Okay, I can't get into that. I didn't go to university for long enough, but I think X-Men: Days of Future Past will be a real hit. Looking forward. A real humdinger. Matt, what's your pick for a surefire bet this summer? You roll the dice every time you step into the movie theater. What's your snake eyes?
I'm saying Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I thought I was a big. I've been a fan of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if you'd say series, considering it's been
ever since Tim Burton.
Ever since Tim, that's a movie I look forward to for a long time, and as a young person, I actually really enjoyed it, and I even still watch and enjoy it pretty recently. So, but obviously, the more important movie for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, a movie that was I would say solidly surprising in terms of what people expected out of that movie. I think it was a nice surprise. I think that this movie has a very good cast. I like that Gary Oldman is in it. I love his choices for movies. I think that he's going to be very good.
And cell phone commercials.
What cell phone commercial is he in?
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it does like it's Android.
Like where I watched it 5 times and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Gary Oldman. That's what it was. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, not a problem. So yeah, I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes will be good as well. I wish I could remember what's the name of the guy who he was at the beginning of Zero Dark 30. He was in Lawless. He's an Australian guy.
Yeah,
he's another lead. I wish I could remember his name, but I like him a lot too. So I think that could be a very good movie. I'm excited to see what they do, because this one's more of a stretch in terms of what they can do. I mean, Rise rather was. It's the regular world, and there's just more destruction in it, which is kind of standard in a Hollywood movie. And this one is a few years later. There's some overgrowth. There's people in the woods. I think it'll be an interesting movie, and I think that I at least hope very much so that people go and see it, and I hope it's great.
As do I.
That's my choice, Alex.
Okay, so I went not like different, but I don't know if this one's going to be like a box office smash or whatnot. Because when we talked about it, we said one we'll like. So typically, I'm not a huge fan of big blockbusters, but the one that's been sticking out for me, even though I don't know much about it, is the next Sin City movie, A Dame to Kill For. It combines two of my favorite things with being Sin City and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So I'm pretty excited for that one there. I haven't seen much about it, but I just feel one the one I like the most out of the summer.
For me, I feel like the less I see trailers and ads for movies,
and that's
the
what
more
I do.
I like them.
I just go, like when Inception came out and they had the short trailer that just showed the spinning top and like a glass of water tipping. And I was like, oh, DiCaprio's in a Christopher Nolan movie. That is more than enough information for me. I will be going to see that.
Well, like for Interstellar, they're being very tight-lipped on Interstellar.
Exactly.
I don't want to see anything about Interstellar. And that's one of the things for Amazing Spider-Man 2. By the way, you should definitely see that movie, is that I saw too many ads for it.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where they had the ads like he says, are you tracking Spider-Man? Why are you tracking Spider-Man? Isn't that the question of the day?
No, he says it's Peter Parker, and that isn't even in the movie.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's not in the movie. That's the bottom line. But definitely don't see that movie. The less I see about these movies and trailers and ads and stuff, the more I feel like I'll enjoy them. So Sin City.
The only thing that worries me is there's such a long period of time between the first and second to where I didn't even think the second was ever going to happen. But now it is, and I'm very excited for it. Yeah,
I mean, waits between sequels don't really matter.
Yes.
Everybody looks pretty much the same. I remember though it's been in development for forever.
Yes,
it's been in development for a very long time. Now there's one other movie that's coming out that weekend though. I think that might be Sin City. I almost said Spin City.
Yes,
but no, Michael J. Fox is not the mayor of New York.
Deputy Mayor of New York.
Deputy Mayor.
Who was the mayor?
Bill Bosworth or whatever his name is?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. Barry Bostwick.
I don't know.
I think was it Bill Belichick?
The guy
it was.
from,
or was it Bob Balaban?
It is Barry Bostwick.
Bob Balaban. No, it's Bill Burnham. No, Barry Bonds.
Bill Bosworth.
And Bill, it was that guy.
For a second, and then when you cry,
Bill Bixby. I think it's Bill Bixby.
Oh, gee. Jeez.
We'll agree to never know.
Yeah.
But there's one.
It is Barry Bostwick, though.
There's one movie coming out the same weekend as Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, and that's the Chloe Grace Moretz film If I Stay.
Yes. Oh.
Amazing cast. I cannot say enough about these, especially the supporting cast. Like the smaller roles is really what you go to see the movie for. I mean, the stars are there to kind of gussy up the story and look nice and blah blah blah. Nobody cares.
But
the people who
the steak dinner and you are like the breadbasket, these smaller roles at the beginning, which everyone likes.
Exactly.
It just spoiled what I was going to say.
you get them right away. You know, they don't cost anything.
Yeah.
You can leave if you want. You know, they're really the creatures that inhabit the world are what make the world believable.
I agree.
Anyway, this is my long-winded way of saying I have a very small part in the movie If I Stay, but check it out on August
22nd.
If I Stay. Yeah, check it out. That was my honorable mention. By the way,
trailer out there right now where you can see Will's DDP formed.
No, this is. I was way fatter then because this is prior to DDP yoga. We shot this in December, so I was still on. I was still on intermittent fasting then, so I was really fat.
Which I do currently, so
thousands of pounds overweight. No, I was. It was good stuff. Yeah, so check out If I Stay.
So what's your character in it? Just so, because if people haven't seen your face before, they'll know what to.
Well, it's in the trailer, so I can say there's a huge car accident that really throws the whole thing. It starts
literally
the
part is the whole storyline of the movie, basically.
Yeah, the car accident's the whole storyline of the film. Like it throws everything into array. I won't even say disarray because there wouldn't have been array before. Anyway, I don't know why I keep talking.
This is why you're not a writer. This is why you're a performer.
Exactly. I say the words written. I don't write them. Okay, I'm not so good with the writing. I'm good with the talking. I play an emergency medical technician.
EMT, as JR would call them.
Someone call.
Yeah. Someone call the EMTs. So I play an EMT along with my very good friend Lee O'Brien, who I worked with on Men with Brooms. We play EMTs and we go to the scene of the, by the way, Aaliyah O'Brien at Aaliyah, Aliyyah, O'Brien, spelled like Conan, on Twitter. So give her a follow. Be one of the thousands of people to follow her. Star of Rookie Blue, very good friend of mine. Great girl. So it was so much fun to work with her. Yeah, no, I was really excited to work with her on this film and to meet Chloe Grace Moretz. She's a good kid. She's like, what? She's like 14 going on 40. She's incredible. Or she's actually 17.
I was just watching 30 Rock last night with her as Kaylee Hooper, and she is so good in that role. So I enjoy everything she's in.
On is that what she plays on 30 Rock?
Yeah, she plays Hank Hooper's granddaughter.
She basically feuds with Alec Baldwin in kind of a hilarious.
She's huge. She steps right up to him. She's great.
She's masterful.
She's totally that kind of kid. So it's a great movie. I'm sure. Yeah, it's a really good script based on a book. So if you're looking for an alternative to SimCity, the movie, which is going to be a big hit.
If you want an alternative to sitting at home and playing the game.
Because I meant SimCity.
Oh, okay.
Oh, SimCity, a
game to kill for.
Yeah, a game to kill.
Sorry, I was right there.
Whatever. I had Peter Barker. Check out If I Stay. Now,
it's on my scoreboard.
There's also. Oh wait, we hit every surefire hit. Yeah, because yours is SimCity.
That wasn't my. I like the most.
That was the one you liked the most. That was your clinker. So for a sleeper pick, for me, I'm going to choose the film starring two actors from one of my favorite sitcoms of the last couple of years. This movie is going to be called Let's Be Cops.
Yes.
Starring Jake Johnson and Damon Wayans Jr., who, if their chemistry on New Girl is anything to go gauge this movie from. This movie's going to be very, very funny. And actually, it's a very funny supporting cast. Taking a look at it now, Keegan-Michael Key, Rob Riggle, Nina Dobrev from Vampire Diaries is on it.
And DeGrasse.
Yeah, it looks funny. These two guys just decide to dress up as cops for Halloween, and people mistake them for real cops. And it's going to be these two idiots. I think it's going to be quite funny. I'm looking forward to it. It could be a funny kind of alternative to another movie where two idiots play cops. What was that one called?
22 Jump Street.
And that's going to be funny. I quite enjoyed 21 Jump Street. I thought Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum were hilarious.
That's my sleeper pick.
Yeah, I think those will be very funny movies.
Yeah, I like your movie. Let's Be Cops. I want to see that just because of the title. One of those movies where I hear it, I'm like, that is great.
Well, it's a lazy title, and the poster is just "Let's Be Cops" August with a badge in the background, which is kind of the studio saying that they maybe don't trust their leads. But whatever, that's fine. I think it's gonna be a funny movie. Alex, what's your pick for your surprise hit?
Geez, I don't really have a good one. I was gonna say, and maybe it's too obvious. I was gonna say Hercules.
That's fair.
And The Rock.
No, that's a good one.
I don't even know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm just gonna say I think that's one of those ones, those action movies, that's gonna make a ton of money.
Directed by the guy who directed the worst X-Men movie, yes. Brett Ratner.
And the version of Tower Heist, which was also the only version. So
yes, but it stars
Brett Ratner fan by any means.
But the man who stars, I'm a huge fan of, The Rock, who's just turned into. I mean, we always knew he was the man, but now he's turned into the man.
I just feel like that one's not getting much play for the, you got your Guardians of the Galaxy and your Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That one's kind of slipping by, so we'll see what happens with that one. But that's my pick for the one that's going to make an unforeseen boatload of money.
Well, let's see, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the role he was born to play as Hercules, undertaking the 12 labors. That's going to be a really cool movie. I'm looking forward to this summer. Summer movie season's always a good time. Do you guys have like a favorite summer movie, an all-time favorite summer movie? I'm gonna do the. This is a very long-winded way of saying that I'm going to do the cop-out choice. And say, I quite enjoy the first ever summer blockbuster, Jaws. Steven Spielberg's Jaws.
I thought we were doing memories of summer blockbusters.
Well, I remember the first time I saw it.
It was November 12th.
November 12th. But that deserves honorable mention for kind of kicking off this summer blockbuster season, right. So to speak. It paved the way. 1975, it paved the way for
budget.
Big budget movies, and
for good and for bad.
Probably, well, yeah, and it probably did a lot to save the movie industry, though. That's the most important part.
That is very important.
So that's just, I mean, it's one of the greatest movies of all time by a long shot.
Love it.
Yeah.
In terms of memories for me, I remember, and I'm not sure why this happened exactly, but I remember it was the summer, I want to say 2002, because I think this checks out. At the Empire Theater 6, close to our house, there was a double screening, a back-to-back, double feature, obviously. Double feature of Men in Black 2 and then Spider-Man. That existed for some reason, and I went to see it with a friend who I can't 100% remember who it was. Sorry, friend from 12 years ago.
No one important.
No, yeah, apparently not. Anyway, so I thought that's just funny because there's almost no reason a double feature would exist, but it did. I don't know. It was like $5 and it was awesome. So that's my favorite summer movie memory in terms of that.
There you go. Actually, one time I did do a double feature, X-Men 2 and Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, God. You guys see the worst double features.
No, X-Men 2 is awesome.
X-Men 2 is awesome, but
Matrix Reloaded, not so much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Men in Black, and then I was more kind of blown away by that first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, it was a good flick. Alex, what's one for you?
Mine is actually, and I was kind of older when this happened, but when Superbad came out, I think it was August, and I vividly remember the night, the theater, like kind of where I was sitting in it and just watching that for the first time was very much of my generation, I guess I'll say.
That was I remember that too. That was so enjoyable. Everybody just got such a kick out of that.
And I've always had that kind of, I like the blockbusters, but I also I remember, in 2006 when Little Miss Sunshine came out. I was like, oh, that movie's incredible. And then Superbad coming out the year later. I just kind of like those smaller ones that end up being, surprising in a way.
There you go. That's like a sleeper.
Yes.
If you may. Like Hercules, the biggest sleeper of them all. There you go. So summer movie season, I'll spend. I'm going to quite enjoy it. I guess throughout the summer we'll be coming at you with some mini reviews. We don't have to go into every film into so much detail, but it was requested. Yeah, we'll be hitting you left, right, and center with thoughts of films.
We'll update our predictions as well in terms of who was right,
and who's wrong.
Who's wrong.
And whoever's wrong will not be coming back to the Triple Threat podcast. Single elimination.
Oh, my God.
Who's going to be excommunicated from the family? It's getting way too personal. Anyway, we've been going on too long. One thing I got to...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, been sitting on it for 2 hours. I have to mention this Thursday on CTV at 10 Eastern... Motive, a crime show where the killer and the victim are revealed in the first 5 minutes, but the motive has to be determined.
Ooh.
What is the motive this week on the all-new episode of Motive, the show where the motive has to be figured out. Motive on CTV, home of Motive.
Are you excited for this show?
No reason, okay. But just check out Motive.
Check out Motive this Thursday.
Check out Motive. No, it's I play a mechanic along with two brothers and my sister, trying to make ends meet after our folks pass on, and we're left to deal with the bills of the house and the bills of running our business. And we get involved with this character who says he can help us out, and the business deal goes awry. What happens next will be shown on Motive this Thursday on CTV.
So there's a preview up for that, I guess. I have not seen this. You posted it somewhere?
I've tweeted it. Follow me on Twitter at William C. Vaughn. It has been tweeted.
Yeah. You have a line in that preview? Well, as a line?
I do have a line. Yes, it's better than the If I Stay trailer. It's not just my butt. It's my face.
Mouth.
It's not just my butt. It's my mouth. But no, I was actually quite proud of what we did on Motive. I'm looking forward to how it turns out. And then I think next time we convene on the Triple Threat podcast, we can discuss the episode. Please, honestly, any questions about Motive or the making of the episode, shoot me a tweet at William C. Vaughn on Twitter. What if we wanted to ask you something, Matt? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, you could go to Twitter, and I am MP Vaughn on Twitter. Vaughn is Vaughan. So yeah, you could talk to me there.
Or Alex, what if we were like, you know what, Will's not telling me what I need, and Matt, we've had a bad falling out. I don't want to talk to him. What if we wanted to reach out to you?
If you want to send me condolences, giving how Liverpool threw away the champion, the EPL in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Or discuss the Patriots' new draft pick, Jimmy Garoppolo. That's at Evonix, and now that is not a T. That is the at symbol, which is Shift 2 on your keyboard, and then Evonix, EVAUGH and ICS.
There you go. Shift 2 on your keyboard, Shift 1 in your hearts.
Shift 2, yep.
Exclamation mark? Exclamation mark in your heart?
Exclamation mark, yeah, exactly.
That's bad.
Or the Spanish version. The upside down exclamation mark that comes before a word, which I prefer because then you know how to say it. In English, you say a word and you're like, holy cow. In Spanish, you'd be like, holy cow, because you'd know right away.
Probably not. Probably don't say that in Spanish.
Holy cow? You'd say like,
don't try to.
Please, this is
Santa Maria. Oh, no, I'm not going to say what you think.
FCC's up to 90s already.
Also, if you want to get more information on DDP Yoga on Twitter, it's at DDP That's Delta Delta Peninsula. No, wait, we went over this before.
It's not.
Let me try this again. Delta Delta Papa Yoga on Twitter. Also, if you want to follow Motive, it's at Motive TV, at Motive Tetrahyd Veramicilitude. Did I say, is that the right NATO phonetic for TV?
Well, it's verisimilitude, not verisimilitude, but
no, verisimilitude is my
verisimilitude.
I think you're confusing veracity and verisimilitude.
If anybody wants to see a picture of, if anyone wants to picture my university degree, look at a blank wall. That's what it looks like.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, this was a lot of fun, kids. We talked flicks.
Everybody
made our picks.
Chunged.
Yeah, we wanged and we chunged. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope yesterday you treated your mom as well.
You mean treated, right?
Tweet at your moms, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already.
Tweet them. Well, Mom is on Twitter at Wham Mom. If you want to give her a follow, ask her how she raised 3 very average men. Then
I don't think she'll be too flattered by that.
What? I made fun of myself too. It's okay. It's okay if you make fun of yourself. It's okay. Everybody, thank you very much for listening. Really, we do appreciate it. If you have any questions, tweet any of us. Also, we have a Gmail address, Matt. What's the Gmail address?
I believe, and I am not just making this up. I am wasting time. Here we go. triplethreatpod@gmail.com. So far, the only person who has emailed me was my wife.
Saying, honey, if you don't stop podcasting, we're going to have some serious trouble. So, Matt, we thank you very much for really putting it in her place. You know what I mean? Nobody ever knows what I mean. Honestly, anything you want us to talk about on the show, let us know, and we'll definitely bring it up. Brad the YM, we did what Brad the YM asked us to, and we'll see you next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Bye.